before a submission deadline. This is probably my favorite. Yeah, today we're going to go over just some basic kind of workflow things that I do every day to build sites for my clients, and using pretty much Joomla core features only. And I'm just going to show you some of the things we do, and it's a pretty ambitious session. We're going to try and build a 25-page Joomla website in the next half hour, and I think we can do it. So if you don't know me, I'm Cliff Pfeifer from Denver, Colorado. CliffPfeifer.com is my website, and I am the Joomla UX team lead. I'm on the community leadership team, the marketing leadership team. I'm the Denver Joomla user group organizer and the Joomla Day Denver organizer. If you're wondering how I have time to do all of that, I don't, and that's why I need to work very fast, and that's what this presentation is about. I don't have a lot of time, so I've over the years I've kind of just dialed in this process of doing things very quickly. My business back home is called NetSense Media. I do mostly small business websites for local people. I've had clients all over the world at one point or another, but I like to work with locals in my own area, small business sites. I do some very large sites as well, but most of what I do is just basic business websites for just kind of everyday people in every kind of different industry. So what we're going to do today, this is just going to be more of like a live demo than anything else. So I've constructed this fictitious website that's completely ridiculous. It's called the Ninja Factory. So we're going to build this site from scratch, and this is kind of the finished version of it. And you can see we're using the just the default protostar template, and all of this is created using Joomla core features. Obviously we've got some different sections here. Contact section, got some different, like a team page. Say this was like our team kind of directory, this small business type thing. Some different news articles, etc., and some different tips and tricks. And basically, and this is completely, I've just made all of this up so we could have fun. We're going to kind of go through some of these different tips and whatnot. Just real quick, we'll just kind of take a look at this, because what I've done is there's only one part of this that is not Joomla core necessarily. What I've done is I've constructed this website, and then I've made I've used a Kiba backup to make a copy of it. And I've kind of deleted all the content out of it, and that's kind of ninja tip number one is, starting, give yourself a head start. So when we jump into, I'm going to jump over to Chrome here. And just so you know, I've prepared all the content ahead of time, and that's kind of obviously we don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to kind of show you some of the different things I do. So basically what I did was I took this is basically my copy of it, and I kind of just put the home page in there to give us a head start, but basically this is the exact same website, missing the content, and the big upside to that is all my settings are still in there. So I have a boilerplate like this. I generally don't use the default template in my work, but we're talking about Joomla core stuff today, and everybody uses a different template. And the great thing about this system is that no matter what template I use, it will work just fine because it's all Joomla core stuff. And using the core has some big advantages, particularly when it comes to upgrades. Like 90% of upgrade problems come from third-party extensions, and we all need extensions at one point or another, but you need to choose them wisely. So I found that a lot of people install extensions mainly because they don't know how to use the Joomla core features. One of the questions I have, well, what extension should I use to have a blog? And my answer is always the same. You don't need an extension to have a blog in Joomla, and I'm going to show you how that works. If you need extensions, everybody, there's an extension or two on every site that you need, and if you need one, you should absolutely use one. But you don't always need them. People overuse them, and then when it's time to upgrade to Joomla 4 next year, at some point, hopefully in the near future, the people that have 900 extensions installed are going to have a really hard time upgrading. So I kind of figured this out early on. So that's kind of, stick with the core stuff, pick your extensions wisely, and just kind of, it just makes your life much easier. So also provides consistency and security. All of the Joomla core features are maintained by the core team. Every third-party extension creates a potential security hole. Over 90% of hacks come from third-party extensions. So if you're not using many extensions, your chances of being hacked are dramatically reduced, provided you keep your site up to date. But that's what makes it more secure. You know, the more extensions you have, the more vulnerable your site is. So that's kind of where we're going to start. So that's kind of the point of this whole thing. So so we're going to kind of just take a look at what we're going to do here. So I kind of just have some notes over here on the side, and I'm just going to say it out loud. But so basically, you want to have a strategy. So I'm pretending like I'm a ninja just because it's fun. But so basically, like this is kind of the structure we're going to do, and we're going to create something that has great SEO as well. So basically, this is kind of just our kind of blueprint. You know, so I've got home, and it's going to be a featured article menu item. So basically your menus create your page structure in Joomla, and it's just going to be your root, and then we're going to have an about that's /about /FAQ. These are going to be single articles. You know, and then we're going to use a category blog layout for these other pages. You know, so this is going to be our team page, so it's going to be /team, and then all of the sub pages are going to be /team/ you know, name of the team member, so Cat Ninja, for example, which is ridiculous. But okay, so then same thing with the news. And if you've been seeing many of the sessions I've been to today, I've been talking about content organization and page structure relating to SEO. This is how you do it, and it's all built into Joomla. You don't need any extensions. You can just do it, and I'll show you how to do it. It takes a little bit longer sometimes, but I'll show you. We're going to build this thing. When this thing launches, it's going to be perfect. It's going to have perfect SEO. It's going to be easy to maintain. I mean, basically, I'm just going to build this whole thing so it just does everything I need from the start. Then I give it to my clients, and they're happy, and they start making money, and then they don't have to call me every 5 minutes and say, hey, my site's broken, or hey, do I need to hire a marketing person, or I just build it all in from the start. So that's kind of what makes this kind of a ninja workflow, is that I'm not going to do the design and then do the content, and I'm going to do all of it at the same time. I'm building it to be what I want from the very beginning, and that's why I love Joomla. I can do that with Joomla, and I can't do that really with any other platform, regardless of what you might hear about how easy SEO is versus here versus somewhere else. So you know, these are we're gonna set up some categories, because obviously we have to set up some categories, and then I've just kind of listed my articles here and kind of how we're gonna set them up, and then I've set up a set of images for each one as well, and that's basically all this is indicating. So let me log into the back end here. It's just going to be a real-time demo, so I'm going to log into the back end. So over here, we're going to pretend that my client has given me this, even though I just kind of made it as I went. Basically, your clients are going to give you all kinds of different stuff: Word docs, spreadsheets, Google Docs, like whatever it might be. So in this case, we've got a spreadsheet. So over here is my article title, then the body. So this is my home page, and I've already built this one in, and I've listed my URLs there as well. Sometimes they do that; they want a very specific URL structure. So then I've got some different. You know, that's going to be my categories, images, and different links that I'm going to use. You know, and I've got that listed out for every different piece of the site. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here, and it all kind of fits into what we're going to do. So, get back up there, sorry. All right. So what I've done here, and just to kind of show you what we've done, kind of first step one, when I get in here, I go right into the global configuration. Because we need to make some settings here. First of all, we're always going to set our search engine friendly URLs, and we want to use the URL rewriting. This is the only piece of code that we're going to, it's not even really code. If we go into here, and wow, that's really tiny. Sorry, this thing made my computer screen go like very small. But if you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's an htaccess file right here. You basically, when you install Joomla, it's htaccess.txt. You just need to go in here and remove it, change it to .htaccess. You remove the txt at the end and put the dot at the beginning. I wish I could make that bigger right now, but I can't, unfortunately. There's plenty of articles on how to do that. I'll put a link on here. So that's really the one thing, because if I don't do that, I'm going to get a server error when it goes to rewrite. And this actually, it removes the index.php from the end. So we definitely want that. So today we're actually going to be using the built-in just tiny MCE editor, which a lot of people don't use because they don't like it, because it's very difficult, and it's actually gotten a lot better over the years. And one of the things people have been talking about is copy and pasting. I'm going to be copying and pasting out of a spreadsheet into my article, and oftentimes you get all this rich text formatting that kind of gets stuck in there, and it's this big mess. This is totally a ninja tip. So if you go in and if you set these, this is generally set to no filtering or something like that. If you set both of these to no HTML, it will actually strip out all that rich text formatting in the default editor. And that's actually one of the pages we're going to make. That's one of the ninja tips that I'm going to put in there for you. Very cool, and I'll show you how that works. So first kind of step here is, and I'm just kind of going, I'm kind of just making, we're going to get through as much of this as we can. So it's there's a lot to cover, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to create the articles and categories first. And I've kind of set this first one up. Actually, before we do that, Ninjas always set their global configuration and their article settings first. Okay, so when I go to the article manager, there's this options button over here, all the way on the right. And this basically has all the settings for Joomla in it. These are the same settings you're going to see in your categories, articles, menu items, and whatnot. So these are your defaults. So you'll notice in the article screens and the menu screens, a lot of them are set to use global. These are the global settings, and you want to set these here. And it's pretty much the same. All I've really done here is I've hidden some of these, some of the author information and all the icons. You can also set your blog layouts. I've set them all to use one column and a certain number of intro articles. You can kind of go through here. Generally, I just kind of have, basically the point of using a boilerplate is I've set all this the way that I want, so I can just install this. So next time I need to make a website, I just start here and just start plugging content into it. I'm also going to show you how to override those settings in different places in case we don't want to use them all the time. So, first step, do your global configuration. Second step, do your article options. Okay, so we're going to get out of there. Okay, so I've already kind of set this one up for us. Now, basically, I'm going to be toggling back and forth between my spreadsheet. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So, basically, I copy this here. I pasted it here. Like that. And then I pasted that in there as well. And you can see that since I set my thing in there, I just copy and pasted it. It puts the paragraphs in there for me, but there's not a bunch of inline styling junk in there. The other part of this, where I'm getting my image from, is, let me open up a tab here. I always have all my stuff on tabs because it's easy. So basically, this image right here is coming from right here. It's well, it should be anyway. It's coming from one of these. There you go. There's an intro image and a full article image, and if you don't have a read more thing in there, it usually uses the first one until there's a read more, unless it has its own page. What I always do is, you've got your alt text here. I always just copy the title. So quick keys are your friends. So I'm going to go Command A, copy, and then I just put this in here like that, paste it in there. That's your alt tag. That's good for SEO. And also, if your images are missing alt tags, it's a HTML error as well. So I always just copy the title of the article because it matches. Google likes that when things match. So kind of should show you what I got in here. So this is my home thing. Now, if I was going to set it again, I would just come down here and copy this little image URL out of there. And I'll show you how this works. We're going to do a lot of this. So when I go into here, if I'm going to use the exact same image on both of them, for some reason, you can actually set two different images. In this case, it doesn't really matter, but you'll see why when we get to the other pieces of this. So basically, I'm just copying and pasting pieces of this, and this is all under the Images and Links tab. So basically, that's our article there. So what I recommend doing is dialing in your first one exactly how you want it, and this is pretty much how I want it right now. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to add in the other static pages. So we have an about page, an FAQ page, and a contact page. They're all going to be static pages. So we're going to do the static pages first. So let me go into here real quick. So basically, let me close out of this. I'm just trying to kind of think of the best way to do this. All right, so basically, I've already created a category called info. I kind of meant to show you how that works, but okay. So if I filter by info, like these buttons are kind of your category filters. I've actually already created my categories as well, but I'll kind of go through that. If I filter by that and I hit new, you might notice that my category over here is already set to the info category. So that kind of takes a step out of there. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing that, I'm going to kind of go back and I kind of gave myself a head start, and that's what's messing me up actually. So from here, now that I've got this one done, I'm going to click this. You notice all these features up here. There's save and close and save and new and save as copy, and there's different versions, blah, blah, blah. The save and copy is a great tool, and we're going to use that. So I'm going to go save as copy. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a new article with all the exact same settings and content, just with a different name. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go down to this next article, which is about the Ninja Factory, and I'm going to go into here, and tab is your friend. So I'm going to paste that into here, and then I'm going to tab over and delete the alias. Okay, that's very important. And then I'm going to go back and grab my content here. Okay, and then switch back over here, select all, delete, paste. Okay, so that's in there, and I'll just, yeah, we don't need an about us there. So next I'm going to switch over to my images real quick. Okay, so since I've already had that one, basically we're using this one. Notice it already put me in this folder, and that's actually what I was going to show you. I've actually already created a folder called content, and then I've got all my categories and images already put in there. So this has my home image, my about image, contact, FAQ. I just need to switch it to the about right there. Insert. And then I can do the same thing here, about. So since I'm already in that directory, all my images are already in there, and I know I'm going to do this, I don't have to click out and hunt for my images. Then I'm also need to just put in my alt text there. So paste. Okay. So I'm going to save. Let's go back here. Okay, so we're not actually going to do anything. You'll notice that this is unpublished. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So I'm going to do a save as copy, and I'm going to do the other two real quick. So FAQs, copy, go paste, tab, delete. I'm going to delete that, switch back, grab this, copy. Oops. Come on. All right, paste. Go into here, and then I'm looking for my FAQ picture, which is right there. Insert, select FAQ, insert, and then don't forget the alt tags. Paste. Okay, so I'm going to save. Now you can tell when you save, it's easy. Sometimes it's easy if you get into a pattern. If you hit save as copy too quick, you might actually overwrite. You can tell that's why it's important to delete the alias, because that's your clue that you haven't saved it yet. So I'm going to do save as copy. This is the last one, contact. So I'm going to go down here. Okay, contact. I'm going to go here. Okay. So select all, paste, tab, delete. See how that's empty? Okay, now I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to grab contact thing there. I'm going to paste that in there. Switch over to my images and links. Actually, sometimes I like to do this. You can just grab it, paste. Do it in whatever order you like. And this is just kind of a thing that I've kind of made up. I can really bust through it quick, though. So contact, and then contact. Okay, insert. Okay, so I'm going to save and close. So should have 4 articles. Okay, and they're actually all featured, but I only want the first one to be featured. But you'll notice only the first one is published, right? I didn't publish any of them. So instead of making it an extra step every time, I can select them all, publish right here, and then I'm actually going to make them unfeatured. Oops, I'm going to actually have to just click these out. I didn't mean to make them featured, but that's okay. So basically you can, since we're not actually previewing the content yet, it's okay. We don't really need to do anything with that. You can come in here and just hit once. If say you had to make 100 articles, that would save you 100 clicks of publishing. You just come back out here, select all, publish them all in one shot. So we're kind of thinking ahead a little bit. So if I go to the front end of my website, you know, nothing's really changed yet because the pages will come from the menu items, and the beautiful thing about this is that we can do the same exact thing with the menu items. So I'm going to go to my main menu here. This is my home. And so this is a featured articles, and that's the mistake I made on the last time. So I'm actually just going to make a new one because we're going to make 3 single article pages. So we're just going to call this one about. And this is really where, when you're doing the copy and pasting, the alias, deleting the alias is very important here because this is what sets your URL. So I'm going to set this to a single article. Okay, boom. And then select your article, which is going to be about. And we're just going to leave all these the way. So, and I've got this in the tips and whatnot. But basically, this is going to be kind of our title, what we see up here. See, it has "Welcome to the Ninja Factory" up here. So if whatever I type in here will come up in the browser bar. It's the browser page title. Huge SEO thing. You wanna put something in there. So say like about let's see, Ninja Factory. We don't necessarily need to do this every time, but I'm just going to show you. And then this one here, our page heading. This is what actually creates an H1 tag on your page. So a lot of people don't understand. They use plugins to add an H1 tag or anything. You can add an H1 tag, a page heading, which is kind of the next important thing in SEO. You can do it right here in the menu items. We've actually done that on the front page. So we don't really need to do that right now. So okay, so I'm going to save and close. Actually, let's just go back and take a look at this real quick. I kind of tripped myself up by giving myself a head start. So you can kind of see this is where my Welcome to the Ninja Factory thing is coming from, and then I've got Super Ninja Workflow right here. So that would be my H1 tag, which is your top level heading. You're only supposed to have one on each page, and basically it's your page title. That's where you want to stuff all your. If you're a keyword stuffer, that's where you want to stuff your keywords in those two things, and you shouldn't stuff keywords. But if you're going to, that's where you would put them. Okay, so now I've got this one about. So I'm going to make a save as copy, and just going to change my articles here. So since I've already created my articles, the reason I have to create my articles first is I can't create menu items until I have articles to assign to them. So it's kind of a backwards, kind of circular thing that Joomla has going on. So we're going to do FAQ. So I'm going to go FAQ here, tab, delete, and then I'm going to do save as copy. Okay, and then this one will be contact. Oh, dude, did I just quit out of there? Oh my gosh. Sorry. How's everybody doing? I'm a little flustered, obviously. Administrator. Okay, cool. So sometimes you hit the wrong button and you close all your work. That's okay. We all make mistakes. So let's go back into here. Okay. So where was I? All right, so FAQ2. So you see it created. I just need to change, instead of hitting A, I hit Q, and it closed it out. So I'm going to contact, tab, delete. Then I'm going to change this to contact the Ninja Factory. Okay, and I'm save and close. Made it a little bit bigger. See, again, these two were unpublished, right? So I'm going to publish them now. Okay, so now they're all published. Now let's take a look. Now I've got all my different pages here. So about, FAQ. This guy's pretty cool. I like him. All right, so contact. So okay, so we're pretty much done with the static pages. So all we really have left to do are the post pages. So since I've already kind of created some categories, what I would say is basically I created these categories the same way. So if I went into, I have one called info, right? And I could do save as copy and do all the same stuff I was doing before. So I've already done that. So we don't necessarily need to go through that again, but I've created a team category, a news category, and a tips category. I'm gonna trash that one real quick. And I think on my team page, you might notice you have a category description, and you can also have a category image, and I believe we're using that somewhere else. But those things can all be set in the settings as well. So what we're going to do, go back into here. So I'm going to do my team pages next. So team. So I'm going to set my category filter here to team. So I don't have anything there. And again, I do that when I click new. It's going to put me in the team category already. See, it's already selected over here. And in case you didn't know, as of Joomla 3.6, you can actually type in new categories right here. So you don't necessarily need to go to the category menu. So if I wanted a new team category, for example, it actually adds it to the list, that's a new feature. We're not going to use that today, but okay. So yeah, I totally lost my spreadsheet too. So one second. Hold on. So is everybody having a good conference so far? Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh, geez. All right. 1 second here. See, sometimes you make devastating mistakes. We might only have time to do like one category, but I think you'll get the point. There's my JWC presentations. basically these are just like quick little shortcuts that you can do. And if I was doing this on my own, I kind of came up with this concept, and I was doing this site where I've got about I had like 100 different menus. I'm not even kidding, like 100 menus that each had like 50 some items in them, and they all had a similar structure. So we're just copying and pasting. I just kind of came up with this whole thing, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Try doing some of this stuff in WordPress. It's not easy. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my team pages real quick. So kind of show you, this is going to be my cat ninja. He's kind of the star of the show. So in this case, I'm going to go in here. I've created a folder called content. Now I can show you my structure. So I put all my images and I cut them up into different sizes in Photoshop, because that's just the way I like to do it. If you prefer to do it a different way, that's great. So what I did was I've got an info folder, a news folder, a team folder, tips folder, and just kind of a various and extra folder. So all my team pictures are in the team folder, and I've got all my different kind of team pictures here. So for the intro image, I'm going to use a thumbnail. So we're going to actually have a different image showing on the category blog page, and then we're going to have a full-sized image showing on the single article page. So for my intro image, I'm going to go into the thumbnail page here, and I'm going to choose my ridiculous cat picture, and I'm going to insert that, and I'm going to copy this and paste it in there. So in this case, I actually want to select a different image. So I'm going to go back into my content, team, and the thumbs are the smaller ones, so I'm going to use, these are the full-size images. So basically I've got full-size images in the team folder, and then team/thumb has smaller sized images. So pretty basic. They're like 400 by 400 and 200 by 200. It's a very simple example. So over here we've got some links and stuff. So I think it's this section. If they're not here, I'll just put them in here, I believe. And I really dislike Google Sheets sometimes. Okay, I think that's in the other section. So you can actually put in some links, you know, if you wanted to have some links at the bottom of your single article. I think that's in the next part. So okay, so I suppose I need the content in there. All right, copy. Okay, articles. Paste that in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a read more. So we have some read more buttons. So if you didn't know, like read more kind of just separates, it creates a read more button. You know, I mean, obviously we're kind of just making this up as we go, and this isn't real content. This is the Bacon Ipsum, by the way. If you, I like lorem ipsum generators too, because I'm a nerd. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my thing. I'm just going to bust out these other ones like real quick, and I think instead of just, okay, let me to organize my tabs in a certain way. So I'm just gonna change the names on these. So, you know, let's not even what was it? Dang it. Okay, Red Ninja. Okay, Red Ninja. So paste, delete, and then I'm gonna go. We're just gonna pretend like I'm pasting the content in there. Okay, so now here's the part when I go to my images, I'm already in the thumbnails folder for this one. See? So now I can just pick my Red Ninja thumb right there. And then when I go down here, I can just pick my Red Ninja thing. So I only have to set that up once. I only have to go through that process once, and now I'm going to be able to just kind of crush these other ones real quick. So Red Ninja. All right, go into focus mode here. Okay, save as copy. So I go copy. So Blue Ninja. So paste, delete. And since I'm already on the screen, I'll just go ahead and choose my Blue Ninja. Is that the Blue Ninja? Gotcha. And then copy, paste. So quick keys are crucial. So I kind of got tired of using my mouse, and so when I started working this process, I was like, how few mouse clicks can I do this in? So I would paste the content in there. So I save it. You can see when I save it, it creates the alias. Okay, save as copy. I'm going to do Green Ninja. Okay, and then we're just going to leave content as is. So Green Ninja there. And actually, since I already have the title in there, go Green Ninja there. Green Ninja there. And then Green Ninja here. And I'm going to save. And it creates the alias. Green alias. Then I'm going to do one more. Okay. Purple Ninja. I like the purple one. Okay. So go purple guy. Purple guy. Purple guy. Okay. Purple guy. Okay. I'm going to save and close because that's my last one. Okay. Only one of them is published, but I can just go ahead and publish them all right now. Okay, so let's go up to our main menu again. So in our main menu here, we've got some options. So I could just create a category blog right here. Let's see, I'm kind of running a little bit out of time. So here I'll show you what you could do is you could create a category blog menu item, and then you could create sub menu items. What I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to create a new menu altogether, and I'll show you why. And you could do it either way. So I'm just going to call this team. Then I'm going to select that, copy it, and then paste it and paste it. Save and close. Okay, so now I have a team menu. What I'm going to do is go into this, and I'm going to create a category blog item here called team, obviously. Now, if you create a new menu item, if it doesn't have any children, if it's a top level menu item, it will, no matter if it's in the main menu or not, it will always be, like when I save this, it will be /team. The alias will be team. So what we're going to do, there's a couple different ways you can do this, and there are some advantages to doing it this way in some cases, and that's kind of why I want to show you. It's a little bit different of a technique. So I'm going to go in here, select category blog, right, and then I'm going to pick my team. Okay, gotcha. And I can make some other settings, and I've already made all my global settings and all of that, so I don't really need to mess with this. I could set my SEO stuff, metadata for each page can all go right there. There's already boxes for it. Okay, so I'm going to save and close out of this real quick. Okay, so if I go to my website again, I'm just going to close that out real quick. Okay, so it's not there. So. And it's because it's a different menu. I'm showing the main menu. So if I go into my main menu again, there's this little kind of tricky menu item called a menu item alias. I've actually written an article about this in the Joomla magazine a couple months ago. What an alias is it basically points to another menu item. So in this case, let's say you wanted to have like a footer menu that basically had all the same stuff that your main menu had, but just with some different things in it. You don't necessarily need to create new article menu items, or you can create an alias. So this is going to be my team. I'll call it Team Ninja. So this is kind of what we can do with it. It's going to point to my team page. And this alias, I can literally type whatever I want in there because it doesn't matter. It's just going to point a directional. It's basically just pointing to another menu item. So you create an alias to another menu item. So what it's doing is it's linking to whichever I pick here, and I'm going to pick team. Okay, so see that now, and I'll show you kind of why that's important. It's really it can help you out. So basically, I can still have /team for my URL, as you can see if I click there. /team, if you can see that, it says /team, promise. And basically these are all my team members here, right? Got my cool colored cat ninjas and whatnot. So the advantage of that comes with module assignments and whatnot. So we're gonna kind of come back to that. But let's add. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into my team menu, and I'm gonna add a menu item for each one of the articles. Because that's how I can set the URL. So if you notice, this is kind of a thing, and this should actually get better in Joomla 3.7. They're actually fixing this. So if I click, right now I'm at /team. I wish that was bigger. Can I make that part bigger? I can't make that part bigger. So I'm at /team right now. If I click this, I want it to be /team/cat ninja. Right? So if I click this, you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says /team 24-cat, and that's the article ID. They're actually fixing that in Joomla 3.7, but this is a common problem. And say I wanted to have a different module configuration on here, I can't, because it's not assigned, because you can only assign modules to menu items, so it would always inherit the parent modules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a menu item for each one of these articles. So let's go make it a single article. And you can also do a lot of these filtering things. So single article, it's going to pull up my article list when I select article. So I can pick team, right? Okay, so these are just my team. So I want Cat Ninja first, because he's the cool Cat Ninja. Okay, and then that's going to create my team. Then by selecting my parent item as team, now it's going to go team/Cat Ninja. Okay, so I go back here. Let's go back to my team ninjas. So we're at /team. Go to Cat Ninja. Now it's /team/Cat Ninja. That's how I fixed that. So now I can just do save as copy real quick. And this will actually create all the submenus. So I'll go Red Ninja. So let's go Red Ninja. Tab. It's very important to delete the alias here. So that's all I need to do, save. And I'll just do a couple of these so we can kind of move on. only have about 7 minutes left. There's one more thing, and there's one other advantage to doing this as well, and I'll show you what it is. Okay, save as copy. And select, I'm going to do Blue Ninja. Okay, so Blue Ninja, tab, delete, save. And again, when you hit save, if you accidentally keep hitting save as copy, you'll keep overwriting your same thing. You'll figure it out when you close out of it. But I do that a lot when I go too fast because I make a lot of mistakes because I'm human. All right, so save. Always hit save again if you're in doubt. Okay, so go green ninja, go green. I'm going to delete that. Tab, save. I'll just do all of them. Okay, save as copy. And then what do we got? Purple Ninja. And notice since I already set that, it just pulls up that category of posts as I'm doing it, so I can just go down the list and select them. Purple Ninja. Okay, save. Okay, I'm going to save and close. And then I'm going to publish all of them like that. Okay, so when I go here, so that's actually all of these will have their own URL now, basically. So if I go to, now I've got team/red ninja, team/blue ninja, just how my client, so it's got a perfect SEO structure. Okay, so why is that important? I'll kind of skip ahead real quick. So if I go to my modules here, now I've got this main menu module on the side here that's kind of showing my navigation here. I got home, about, all that stuff. Okay, let's say on my team page, I want to have another module for just the items on that. So I'm gonna make a copy of this. So you can do all the same things with modules. Save as copy. Okay, so now I've got I've got main menu copy. I'm going to call this team menu, and I'm going to select my team menu from right here, and show on sub items. It'll basically hide them. So this one you can publish, and then for all my other categories, I could create. Basically the concept is we could keep doing this for all of our other categories. So I'm going to go into menu assignments. So I only want it to show on the team pages. So I could do it like this, only on the pages selected. And notice how they're all selected right there. Select none. I could do that. And then these little things here, I can select all of that. Okay, so you could do it like that, or you could also do on all the page except the ones that are selected. So in that case, you would do it backwards. And the reason for doing that, say I needed to add like 10 more team members like tomorrow or something. Any new menu item you add is not checked on there automatically. So if I select the opposite, as I keep adding them, it will still show on the new pages as well. So let's see how this does. So I'm going to save this, and I should have a little module on the side there, right? So I got team. So now I got a little navigation structure here. So team, cat, blue, green, purple, etc. So, yep. Okay, so let's see, we got like 3 minutes. So I think I know how I can bring this all together real quick. Okay, so let's say, let's go back to our menus real quick. So the last kind of ninja trick, I mean, basically we could create different sections of it, but the last thing I kind of want to show you is batch processing. So let's say if I wanted to go, so my main menu, so what I would do is I would create more menus. I would create a news menu and a resources menu. And actually, I'll just do it real quick. I won't create all the articles again. I'll just call it news. Okay, so copy, tab, paste, save and close. Okay, so my news menu is going to have the same structure. It's got 5 articles in it, right? So if I go into my team menu here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check them all, right, except this one. I'm going to uncheck this one here. Okay, I just want to copy the second level menu items. So up here is the batch processing, and this is the ultimate ninja trick if you have to build a really complicated site. Basically what batch does is it lets you do these, there's a limited number of things you can do, but it's very powerful. So what I want to do is I want to copy all of those things, or if I wanted to move them, I could also do that. So you have to select where you want. So I'm going to add this to my news menu. So add to this menu. Actually, I think I need to pick all of them first. Yeah, okay. So click batch. We'll see if it works. So I'm going to move this to my news menu, add to this menu. Okay, and I'm going to copy. So you can move or copy. So if you needed to move a big chunk of menu items somewhere, and this also works with articles and categories as well. So I hit process. Hopefully it works. Okay, so batch process completed successfully. So when I go to here, I've got team. So basically all I need to do is go in here, set this to news, delete that, change this to news, and basically save and close. And then I would just go through this whole, I didn't create my news articles yet, but I could do the same thing by doing that. If I go, so this is my team, click all of these, hit batch. I'm going to copy them to the news section. So news, copy, process. And now if I switch to my news category, I've got all these articles in here, and they're not published. So I could publish all of them right now and then kind of go through the same process. Now let's say my client wants the news to be a drop-down. So here's what we can do. Since I didn't create my alias, remember in my main menu we created an alias for the team page. Okay, so when I go, I'm going to go back to my menus here. I'm going to go into my team menu. So I can copy all of this, and this time I'm just going to move it to the main menu. So I go batch, and I'm going to put it in the main menu, add to this menu, or I could put them as sub-menu items as well. So add to this menu, and then process. Okay, so I don't have any more menu items in here, but when I go to my main menu, you can see I've got, and it actually didn't put them under there, but I can fix that. So if I go here, sometimes it removes the, I guess it removes the parent, but I can just move them again under the team page. Or actually, that I just forgot to change the name to news. But okay, so move. So now I've got all of those. Let me just change this to news real quick. I think I might have messed up, but you see what I'm doing, right? Okay, so I'm going to change this to news. Okay, save and close. Oops, okay, I did mess up. So if you get that, if you ever get this red message here, that means that you've already got a menu item with the same URL. So that's generally when you want to use a menu item alias. So I messed up and copied the wrong thing. So, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. Kind of the point of that was that you can manipulate, you can make copies of menu items, move them. You can make copies of articles and categories and kind of slide them around into different places. When I go here, and of course I totally broke something, it looks like. But now I have this, and then I've got my sub menu there. See, that's how I've created that. Notice on my team page, I've got that there somehow. I messed something up somewhere. Okay, so so yeah, I mean that's basically it. Honestly, like I kind of thought of this at the last minute. I'm actually planning on making a series of videos about all of these different steps where I don't have to like try and rush through it. But basically the point is that we've created a pretty solid Joomla website with only core features. You know, our SEO is great. We haven't used any of the we haven't used any extensions in this at all. And since I've used all the same features like the images and the different, you know, the image fields and the link fields and all that stuff, I could actually, if I put a style on this, it will apply to all of the images. And it helps you. It's consistent in terms of styling. It's consistent in terms of everything. And if I put a different template in here, it's still going to do all the same things. I might have to, you know, reassign some of the module positions, but your content display is going to be exactly the same, just with a new template design. And then the upgrades are going to be a piece of cake. You know, obviously you do have to use some extensions here and there, and I'm not saying you should never use extensions, but you know, you can do a lot. That's kind of the point of this, is you can do a lot of stuff with Joomla. You don't need an SEO plugin, or you know, you have to kind of, you know, the menu thing where you add your articles to a menu, it's an extra step, definitely, but it gives you so much more control, because now I have a level, I can assign modules to each of those pages individually. Say my you know, let's go into here, say my Team Ninja or my Cat Ninja page, say I wanted to have a different module just on this one page. Now that I've created that menu item, I can assign a special module like a cat module to the cat page or whatever. You can't really do that unless you set up a menu item for all of them, but it also fixes your URLs and your page structure and all of that. And then what I would do is, once you kind of get something together that you like, what the workflow that's going to work for you, it's kind of up to you to come up with it. I'm kind of crazy and I do things in a, you know, I like to move really fast. But once you find a system that works for you, save it, make a backup. This is the only extension I use on every single site, and it's a keep a backup. So now I've got all my settings dialed in and all of that. I can just make a backup of it. All right, last thing, and I'll let you guys get out of here. So I was talking about the global settings before. last thing I'll do here is, this is actually our team page, but so let's say on our blog pages, I want to see the articles and the dates and all of that stuff, so we set all that stuff at the beginning to hide it. I go into here. These are all set to use global. Okay, so say I want to show the author. This is when I would overwrite it. Okay, so I can show it. It's only going to show it on this one page. So if I set that to show news, so actually it's not showing. There's a million different settings, but oh yeah, let's see. Let's show the category. You can kind of see what I mean. Just a simple example. But the reason we would override it, and I don't know why it's not, because I'm on the Cat Ninja page, of course. Okay, so there's my written by super user category team. Now you'll notice it's still not showing on any of the other pages because I only want it to show on that one page. So I want to set my defaults to the most common scenario of not showing it. But I do want to show it on this page, and Joomla gives you the power to do that. I could override it in my article settings, my category settings, or my menu item settings. That's why you want to start with the defaults. So I think that's enough information that I've tried to spit out in the shortest period of time possible. So I think we have a couple minutes for questions, if or you guys can just take a breath. It's cool. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. So basically what I did was I just kind of put a folder with all my images in there first. No, it doesn't, and that's one of the reasons I do it in Photoshop. And quite frankly, even if it does give you, I just think that's a better way to do it. I think it's way easier to cut your images to the correct size. What do you mean? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I can just show you that real quick. That's actually really easy. So basically, that is one of the. So remember our Ninja pages here. So I go to even though I totally messed this up. So our team page is the news page. See how they're all on the right side? Okay, so if I go into here, my global default is set to right. So when I go into the Ninja page, I'll go. This is in every article. I kind of skipped over this. So I have an image float. Okay, and the global is set to right, and actually in Joomla 3.7 it will tell you what the global is. So if I set it to left right here on my Cat Ninja, it will move that one to the left if I refresh it now. Oh, that's, you know what I'm the links, you can put them on the top or the bottom. Okay, I'll just show you real quick. Okay, so let's just say we'll just go catninja.com. That's not even a real website. Okay, I'll just type website here. So basically there's 3 of them. So I'm going to save this real quick. And you can always see these on the single article page. So if I go into read more, okay, where is it? It should be there. Did I save it? That might, I totally messed up somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so it's okay. So I go into Cat Ninja. No, I messed something up somewhere. That's weird. Yeah, you can it just creates a text. Like you can put in. That's what your field does. Oh, I see what I did because I copied it the wrong way. You can put it on the top or you can put it on the bottom. So you can have 3 links, and you can also set it'll open in a parent window or anything. So basically, it'll just have this text as a link. Kind of thing. Yeah, I think I totally screwed myself a little bit when I was doing this, but I was trying to go too fast again. But that's that's kind of I mean, we got pretty close. I mean, right now this would be about this is almost a 15-page site. I mean, if I had another half an hour to work on it, I could dial this thing in and ship it out the door. And that's kind of the point. I mean, obviously the content preparation would probably take me, depending on what your clients send you. I mean, you never know what they're going to give you. I mean, you're going to get a folder with all these mismatched images. Like some people are. There's like a 200 by 200 headshot, and then one's like 3,000 by 5 million, and then you got to kind of that process can take a while. But I put that at the beginning, and I just kind of I look at what they have, I optimize all their images, and just kind of do that ahead of time, so then I can just drop it all in there and ship it out the door. So that's kind of the Ninja. Kind of didn't really do as well as I thought I might, but. There's just the whole point is you can do a lot with the Joomla core, and that's really my message with the UX team and the marketing team is just kind of trying to educate people about what Joomla can do all by itself. It can do a lot. Try doing what I just did in WordPress. Like seriously, I mean, You can't. You can't do any of this in there. I mean, you can do some of it. They've got a featured image and stuff. I know WordPress very well, but you can't do. It doesn't have the copy and paste. I mean, even just the article assignment, the category assignment. That's an extra step. Say I had to do this with 200 articles. I could do it in about an hour in Joomla. It would take me all day in WordPress or something else. Joomla has these amazing copy organization, sorting. It's a content management system, and it's got some amazing tools in it. And I just showed you a lot of the ones. I mean, basically. I know I went through it pretty fast, but if you learn about those 3 or 4 concepts that I showed you, you can do some pretty amazing stuff with it pretty quick. So, all right.
What that's pretty cool too is like where initially you added that extra article, and you didn't have the SEF URL. You had the article number, the ID number,
Yep.
and the URL.
Yeah.
But as soon as you made that new menu item,
Yep.
Joomla recognized it, right? So
Yeah.
go back to adding that article number in there because now you have a menu.
Yeah. Actually, I have a finished version of this that I should have been showing you the whole time. So these are like the new. If I go into this one, this should have the link at the bottom. Yeah, see, this is what the link looks like. So this is kind of like my Ninja News part. Basically, there's like all these different. And I'll actually put a version of this on my site so you guys can download it and just check it out. But basically, I just used all these different, lorem ipsum kind of generators to create the dummy text here. So and this part did have the the articles down there. So this is what your link would look like. And you can this is set to no float, but you can set it to go left or right. And I've already kind of set up I've kind of moved my news thing up there, so this is my news menu and Ninja tips and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically kind of what you could do. And then I could throw in any template I want. I could throw in a rocket theme, a U theme, or whatever. All this stuff is still going to work because it's all Joomla core. And that's the point, is you can do anything with this. It's every template made for Joomla will recognize what these things are because it's made to work with these things specifically. I basically just put them into, if I go into my media manager, I can kind of show you real quick. Yeah, I use FTP just to say I was on my, basically, I generally don't use the media manager. I work with code a lot, so I already have FTP. It's just much easier for me to upload this stuff. But if I go into, where is the media manager anyway? I heard it's terrible. So if I go, this is what I put in there. So I had this folder prepared. So I had a content folder. And then in here I've got all my different images. So in my news folder, these are all my full-size images, and then I put all my thumbnails in this folder. So yeah, I just do it in Photoshop. I just do like a save for web and you can batch automate it and stuff. I can do all that stuff much faster in Photoshop. If you prefer to do it a different way, and that works for you, that's just what works best for me. Some people prefer to do it in a different way, but I'm using all that stuff anyway, so it's just kind of like, there's 1,000 different ways you could do that. But I think it's better to do that before you upload the images to your website than it is to try and manipulate them, and because if you don't, you're kind of stuck with. Then you have to use a plugin to resize, and you have to do. Now you're getting into like 2-3 more extra extensions, and if you just spend a couple extra minutes cutting them up at the beginning, yeah. So that's my full size, and then these are like 200 by 200. So I think that's it. I think we're out of time. So if you guys have any more questions, thank you so much. Thank you guys. If you guys have any more questions, I'll be around all weekend. This is my first of like 900 sessions that I'm doing. So.